So, will upgrading your audio interface make any difference to the sound that you're achieving, or is it just a total waste of your time and money? Now, I recently changed my audio interface. I changed from a Prism Lyra to a Lynx Hilo. And the main reason I did that was more for functionality rather than sound, because they're both kind of in the same ballpark. When you get to a certain level with audio interfaces, then really you're just going for a touch of flavour and more routing things and, you know, what kind of inputs and outputs you want from the device. Now, Prism, great sounding stuff. I didn't change it because of the sound. I've used Prism my whole career and I love their stuff. I was a Prism Dream fan for a long time, really enjoyed that. I love, you know, the Lyra was great. It's a lovely low end sound. They've got like a harmonic thing going on. But has it changed the sound of my room? Has it changed what I'm doing? At that sort of level, not really. They're very close together, you know, just like I say, a flavour thing. But for you as an engineer working at home, or if you're a mastering engineer watching this, then you do need to think about your audio interface, because it is the thing that you're listening to, it's what you're listening to tracks through. So it's one of the most important things you can have. It's kind of the heartbeat of your studio and your setup, especially if you're in the box. You need to make sure that that sound is the best quality you can possibly get. There's no point in spending a load of money on some speakers if you are feeding those speakers from the audio interface and the D to A converter that's in there is a really bad standard. Now, I've done loads of tests on D to A's and A to D's, so I've listened to a lot of them and I've worked out which ones I like and which ones are sort of value for money and which ones aren't. I think what you have three different stages of audio interface. You have the first stage, which is a kind of beginner's stage, which I would say is like the Focusrite Scarlett, things within that kind of territory. It's anything under around £500. You'll find that these are okay, they get you going, they can be portable, they're good for just listening to stuff back, but any critical listening, then I personally wouldn't want to work on that kind of sound. I wouldn't want to print anything through that sound, because it just hasn't got the finer details and the clarity. Now, when I'm saying about that, you might say, well, you know, if you're an early stage of your career, you might not understand what that sound should sound like and what the difference is. If you've not listened to a good converter, then it's like eating food. You're not going to have that experience, so you don't know what's good and what's bad. So you're going to think it sounds great and it actually isn't that great at all. So really what you're listening to, things can sound quite thin a lot of the times when the converter isn't of a high quality, and your transients, you won't have as much sharpness either. So you kind of get this thin digital sound coming from it. It's not very warm, it's not very full sounding. Now, as you start upgrading, really the ideal place you want to be is around the sort of £2,000 mark, 1,500 to 2,000, something like that. Now, that audio interface is going to make quite a difference to the sound that you're getting. It's going to be super clean. It's going to be of a level that is pro. The frequency response and everything is going to be a lot smoother. Everything's going to be not warmer, but of just a clarity that is a massive jump up from something like a Focusrite Scarlett. You need to be able to hear that so that you can see the difference, and then you'll appreciate what I'm saying. And then you can go to the higher end, which is things like Lavery or Prism Dreams and that kind of thing. And really, you are, when you're getting up to that level, it's the difference in price from the Prism Lyra compared to, say, the Prism Dream. I actually listened to them back to back, and I didn't think it was that much of a difference for the price point that the Dreams are. It's not, you know, it's a very old technology in the Prism Dreams. They've been around for about 10-15 years, and a lot of the chips in the D2As and stuff have changed a lot over the years. So the more stuff that's around the £2,000 mark now that's only come out in the last few years, it actually has better chips in it, I think, than the older Dreams and stuff. They have a sound, of course, but and it's a good sound. It's an amazing sound, of course. It's lovely, but you know, for the price point, I think that you'd be better off around the sort of 2,000, 2,500 point. You're still going to get very, very high quality sound out of those sort of converters. And it's just, that's the kind of area you really want to be in. It also depends on how many inputs and outputs you want. Obviously, then the price is going to creep up if you need to have, say, 8 outs and 8 ins, or 16 or whatever, for however you're working. So I think it's a really important part of your studio. You need to go as high end as you can on it. Yeah, if you've got any questions on D2As, then let me know in the comments. And yeah, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.